welcome to the Creatives Get Real podcast. I'm Roben-Marie Smith.
And I'm Sandi Keene, and these are real conversations about the creative life. Hey, Roben-Marie.
Hello, dear. How are you?
I'm doing good.
What are we talking about today?
Okay, well, you know, you and I, other than Trello, we love Instagram.
Yes.
And what I've discovered through my coaching and talking to just friends in general, there are a lot of people that don't understand Instagram stories. And I've talked to people that don't even know they exist and have no idea where to find them. Mm-hmm. So I thought we should talk about Instagram stories.
Okay. Sounds good.
So let's start off with, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
So we all know when you go to your Instagram icon and you click on it and you see your feed, on the top of your screen, there's these cute little circles with names underneath them. They do stuff.
Yes, they do. Those are stories, people. And you will see also to the left of that your own icon.
Right.
And when you have a story that is active, your followers will see that up there and they'll know that you have something current in there. If you don't have something current, your little circle doesn't show up in someone else's feed at the top. So that way, you know, you kind of know if you have one or not. So yeah.
Okay.
That's where they are. And you can swipe those. You can swipe them and you can see all these people that you follow and you can see their stories. You just tap. Yeah.
Okay. So let's start at the very beginning.
Okay.
For people who are not using them, don't know they exist. Mm-hmm. What is, I guess since you're the tech wizard, ma'am, I'm going to just kind of ask you questions and I'll just throw in my own experiences too, because I've been doing stories for a short period, 3 months maybe, that I've been really doing it because I didn't know how.
Right.
Like, how the heck do you wish it up there? How do you get it there?
Speak and it will be.
I wish it was that easy.
I know. Yep.
Okay, so what is an Instagram story? And can you compare that to a feed, what we're used to, a static post in Instagram?
Yeah. Well, one, your Instagram feed is going to include either videos or images, or it could be an excerpt from IGTV. We won't touch on that right now. And generally, it will have your caption. It will have your hashtags. You can like it. You can share it. So you can comment on it. You can comment on it. So, and you'll see that in your feed. You can then go to someone's profile and you can thumb through and see all the posts that they've done that are in their feed.
Right.
And that's kind of how that works. Now, an Instagram story doesn't have a lifespan, but of 24 hours, unless you choose to save it to what Instagram calls a highlight. So basically, it's 15 seconds is your max, and then it lives for 24 hours, and then it disappears.
Right.
So if you find people that you like to follow, and you want to tune into them each day, you want to tap on their little bubble, and the little picture of their profile, and it will walk you through whatever their stories are. Stories can be videos. Stories can be photos. It can be text. It can also be someone else's feed post that you've shared over in the stories. So that's always nice. If you want to help, promote something for someone, you can actually share their post. You can even share your own post that you've made in your feed to your story to direct people over to your feed so they can read about it.
Right.
Because although you can put text and stickers and GIFs and emojis and hashtags into a story, there's really no room you could do comments, like you could write a lot of text, but you don't have a whole lot of time for people to read it. They can hold the screen and it pauses it and they can read it.
How do you hold the screen?
You just tap right onto the story and hold your thumb on it or your finger, and that will keep the story up and not run it through the 15 seconds. Right. You can also go back to it if you need to.
So it's basically like on a carousel.
Yep.
And every 15 seconds, you're switching to the next one. So if you're reading or if you're looking closely, you just put your finger on this, the screen. Yep. And that is like putting the brakes on.
Exactly. It's pause. Yes. Yeah. You're pausing it long enough to read the text. I'm of the mindset that people want fast, and tend to thumb quickly, and if you have too much text on it, it might inhibit people from stopping and reading it. So that's just my own personal thing.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay, so I can put my finger on the screen and I can pause it. And if I'm bored or I don't want to, let's say I'm going through and they keep scrolling, so I'm going to jump from Sandi Keene, I'm going to jump to Roben-Marie. It's going to keep going down the list of people I've subscribed to. And if there's somebody that I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to see your stories, I can swipe.
Correct.
So I just flick across the screen and it skips to the next person.
Like when the ads pop up, you can just swipe over and move to the next one. Exactly.
Because there are sponsored ads and things out there too.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's kind of freaky how close they are to what you're doing in your real life.
Oh, yeah.
But we won't go there.
No. Big brother.
Topic.
Yep.
Okay, so that's how we can stop, and that's how we can accelerate through.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about what are they good for? What is the point of the story? Why do we have them? Do you know?
Well, I mean, I'm sure very different people would have different answers. I think that with stories, it gives you an opportunity to be less polished, a little less formal. It's kind of, I look at stories as sort of a behind the scenes kind of thing. Sort of like, you're popping in and you're just, you're being a little bit more maybe personal. I mean, I probably don't want to show a lot of the things that happen during my day in my feed, but I could do it in stories, or if I want to just pop in and say a few things, I can do it there, and it makes more sense than to put it into the feed. And so I kind of see it as like a behind the scenes, kind of get to know you a little bit better. It's also good if you're promoting something that you want people to know about. It's excellent for that. And also, again, you can share what other people have in their feeds. You can also help promote that as well. So I kind of see it as just more of an informal, just kind of like what Periscope used to be.
Or Snapchat.
Or Snapchat for adults, know? Yeah. Where, it's brief and it's fast. But if you were to say you're recording your story and it goes over the 15 seconds, that's okay, because Instagram will break that up into 15-second clips, and then it will post them consecutively. So I want to definitely say that it doesn't always have to be right on the 15. You can just, it'll break them up into clips. So what do you think? I mean, what do you see the benefit to doing the stories?
I enjoy them just because they are, first of all, if you do video, you have a live image rather than just a static photo. I also enjoy that they're a different format. They're a different size. Yeah. Instagram is a square. This is a rectangle. It's a rectangle standing upright.
Yeah,
so
it's vertical.
It's vertical. So sometimes what you're trying to see doesn't fit well in a square. It's nice to have that. It's super fun to see people, it's not live, but it's video where they're actually telling you a story and showing you their new brushes or their whatever they're doing. I love when people just turn on the camera and start talking. That is great. Okay, so let's talk about, this is temporary. It stays 24 hours and then it's gone forever. So the only way you can combat that is to save it in your highlights, which shows up just above your grid in Instagram. So let's talk about highlights and how that works.
Yeah, highlights are that. It's a way for you to take the stories that you want to allow to live longer or to showcase longer and create a highlight, and think of your highlights as categories. Right. So I have one that is for quotes. I have one for tech. I have my blog, specific art. Studio would be like peeks behind the scenes. And so what I'll do, or what you can do, is when you upload your story, you can choose to save it to a highlight that you've set up if you want to. You don't have to. So if it's something you just want to live for 24 hours, it's no big deal. And then you can add it to your highlight if you choose to have it live longer. And you can also go back in later and edit them and take them out. So if it's not relevant anymore, you don't have to keep it in there.
It's like archiving.
It is, where other people can see them. Right. When they go to your
public
profile.
Archives.
Public archives. There you go. When they go to your profile page where your feed is, much like the circles that you see of the profiles, you'll see the different little highlights, and you choose what those little circles look like. You can add colors, you can add icons, whatever, and then your viewer just taps on it, and that category of what you've saved in the highlight will show up. And much like stories, it will run through all of your highlights if the viewer chooses to go through them
and there
all.
could be 100
Yeah, they're consecutive, just like your stories feed is.
And you can flip through those
exactly.
as well.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, so when you're putting stories up, you have options. So there's the video or the photo that you have created, and then you can add, on top of that, you add text, you add stickers, those kind of things. So here's a technical question that I have.
Okay.
Because this has happened to me a million times. I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. So let's say I'm applying a sticker. And so I found this cute little paintbrush, and
Okay, can I ask a question? Is it a GIF, you mean? Like a one that moves? Okay, it's a GIF. Okay, gotcha.
So I have this paintbrush, and then if you move the let me say that differently. The photo, the sticker jumps behind it, and you can't get that back on top. What am I doing wrong?
You're not doing anything wrong.
Okay.
When you tap on something, it brings it forward.
Okay.
So what you'll have to do is, let's say you have a post that you've shared to your feed. What you can do is you can kind of make it a little bit, you can pinch those and make them different sizes.
Right.
So kind of pinch it, make it a little smaller, move it down. Then when you find your little GIF, move it to the top.
Okay.
Get it kind of way up to the top, and then rearrange your image again. And then now it's on the bottom, and when you grab the GIF, you can slide it, and it will be on top.
Pull it on top.
Yeah. So whatever you're tapping, it's going to be on top.
Okay.
And if you have a lot of stuff going on, you might have to work with it a little bit too. But yeah, you're not doing anything wrong. That's just the way it works.
Okay, that makes sense now. Because if some of my stories, if you could look behind them, there's like 5 stickers back there and some swear words.
It is a great place to hide your hashtags, though.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, you can hide your hashtags behind it. So.
Yeah. Okay. So and when you're adding text, you can add your hashtags, and you can also at people.
Yes, you
it's
can
like
mention.
Tagging.
Yep,
mention or tag.
Yep, mention.
And then that shows up in their feed. So if they want to put it on their,
it shows up in their direct messages that someone has shared their story. And then if you want to, it shows up as a direct message to you that someone has tagged you in a story, and they let you know. Instagram will let you know. And then if you want to add it to your story, it gives you the option to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to do that. That's fun.
Yep.
And then you can, help other people out, or say, look what this person's doing that's really cool. And
and that's good too, especially if you just don't really have an idea for a story that day and you want to be consistent in posting. You can share someone else's post, or you can repost something you've been that you've been tagged in. So there's ways that you can at least put one story in for a day. If you don't really have time, or you're not sure what to post that day, there's lots of ways that you can, you can post something. And here's something kind of fun too, and I love this, is I don't want to get too techie, but let's say you're in your camera roll on your phone, and you've brought up your photos, and you know how you can save a photo, and it says, you can copy it or whatever. So if you copy that, it's kind of on your clipboard. So if you go back into a story and you just have a random photo that you didn't post inside, say, your feed, you can paste it in there, and then, you can move it around or whatever. So you can bring in.
So that's a fast way of bringing something in.
Yep.
Okay.
Like on a solid background, maybe you choose the solid background, and maybe it's pink, and you had a picture of a flower on your camera roll, and you just want to share that, but you don't want to put it in your feed. You can share it by just copying it from your phone and then pasting it into your story.
Okay. So let's tell people, if they've never done stories before, how do you find, we know that you go to the little plus sign that's on your icon, but let's just kind of walk them through what it is that you do. So we're going to open up our Instagram feed.
Yep. There's, as of this filming or recording, Instagram changes things around. If you are you're looking at your feed right now, in the upper left corner, you're going to see a little camera. And if you tap that camera, it's going to open up your story and where you can add a story. And there's different ways that you can do. You can have live video, you can do a photo, you can take a photo. But remember when I was talking about bringing in a photo, if you take a photo, it fills the whole screen. If you bring a photo in and paste it into your story, it's just a separate little image that you can move around and change the size of. Right.
Yeah.
Boomerangs, those are those little quickie little motion thingamajiggies that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's a little video that kind of goes forward and backwards.
Forward and back. Exactly. Right. Yeah. And there's other things in here as well. And then, of course, there's hands-free if you wanted to film. And
Let's talk about hands-free. I've never done that.
Oh, okay. How would you do video on there? Oh,
I bring video in.
You bring video in, which you can absolutely do too. You can do the video with your phone under your camera roll setting. Right. Just choose video. Or you can use the hands-free setting and just tap the button and it will start recording. And then when you're done, you just tap the button again. Okay. And that way you really are kind of hands-free. So like if you have it in a stand.
I was going to say, so you would have your phone usually in a tripod.
Sure.
Or some sort of stand or propped against something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that will allow you to do that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So those are a few of the items that you'll see when you go in to add a story.
Okay. So I'm hoping that some of our people will if they're not looking at them, look at them and give them a try. Maybe record one.
Yeah.
Record one and tag us.
Absolutely.
And we'll come and comment. Because you can comment. We didn't talk about that. Yep. You can comment on them just like you can in the feed.
Yep, you sure can. And you'll see that kind of down at, again, where it is now, it's kind of towards the bottom. And then what we didn't mention also is once you get whatever it is you're going to put in your story, whether it's a video or a photo, there are some tools at the top of your screen that where you can add text. You can choose to get like a marker tip or a pen tip and you can draw or sketch. You can also find in that little area, looks like a little sticker with a little face. That's where you can pull up things like polls or survey kind of things, your GIFs. All those little fun things are inside that when you tap that. Okay. And then if you have 10,000 followers or more, you can add a link as well to your story. So those are a couple things that you can do as well. And then you said something before I said that. You were asking about...
I was just saying that I hope people will tag us so that we can come and comment and say, hey, I see you. Good for you for doing this.
Yes.
Especially if it's your first.
Yeah, especially for sure. And, it doesn't have to be, again, 15 seconds is not that long. I mean, just pop in and say hi to your viewers and people that are following you. Maybe share a little something about yourself with them. And again, we've talked about being on camera and a couple episodes, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be super polished and you can just do it for, 15 seconds, 30 seconds if you want to. So, yeah. And you know what? If you don't like it, you just delete it, hit the X, and then just start over.
We love super easy.
Yes, we do, for sure.
All right, cool. Well, I hope this helped.
Yeah, that was a good overview. I mean, there's a lot we could dive a whole lot deeper, but it's kind of hard to teach that when we're on audio. But
you need to see it.
Yeah, but hopefully there will be some that will say, hey, you know what? I'm ready to kind of explore that a little bit and check it out. If anything, just start watching stories.
That's a good start.
See what others are doing, and you'll get some ideas.
Right.
And you'll find some that you'll just be like, I want to tune in every day and see what they're up to. So, yeah.
Because some people are great at it.
Yeah. It's like it's like kind of like your own TV channel. I mean, there is Instagram, IGTV, which is a little bit different. And we'll just touch on that a quick second. IGTV doesn't limit you to the number of minutes. So, I mean, you could have, a 10-minute tutorial that you've put on there and it doesn't go away. It stays on your channel until you delete it. Right. So it's a way for you to share long form type of content and things where it stays there longer. You can add a caption, you can add hashtags to that, you can add a link to that, whereas you're a little bit more limited in stories. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Creatives Get Real.
We love hearing from you. So hop on over to Instagram and leave us a comment. And we also appreciate reviews on iTunes.
And you can find me, Sandi Keene, at sandykeene.com, and my classes at popupartclasses.com.
And you can find me, Roben-Marie Smith, at robenmarie.com. And if you're looking for and need tech support, check out my membership site, makerstechu.com.